Hey folks, Kyle Keel here with a new training video for you. The first part of this video will be just me very quickly covering my training objectives for the third week of prep for Roy Unity 8. For the main objectives, I'm just going to continue my accumulation phase, try to slowly increase squat and bench press volume. I'm going to continue to work on transitioning from general specific movements, particularly on my bench press, to a more specific movement, and that'll be as my pec injury allows as it continues to heal. And just really focus on gradually increasing intensity. I have caps set for all three movements in terms of progression and also in terms of exertion. The caps for exertion are going up slightly on this third week, and I'm getting to a point now in this base phase where I'm going to have to start to reset some of the work, particularly on my pressing, but that's okay because I am transferring from one movement to another movement, and so it'll be a good time for me to do that reset. And otherwise, just looking for around 120 bar lifts for the squat and for the bench press, looking for 80 on the deadlift. The 80 is for the deadlift is set in stone. The squat and the bench press are flexible, and it's really determined by how I'm feeling on that particular week. Bench press I've already hit. I've gotten close to my 120 bar lifts, and I'll finish that off tomorrow. The squat, I'm not quite there yet. I have, I think, 30 more bar lifts to go. I've done 90 so far over the course of 2 sessions, and I will finish those last 30 up tomorrow, and so that will be a total exertion personal best for this training cycle, also at a higher intensity than I've trained at for either of the first 2 training weeks, and so it's the sort of nice incremental progress that I'm really looking for. I'll go over the weights. This is all from week 3. I am most of the way through this training week, and so I'll show some of the weights and some of the work I've already been doing. These were my 2-inch deficit deadlifts. They feel hard, really, and deadlifts from a deficit never used to feel that difficult for me, but it seems like the last couple of weeks they felt really tough, but these move well. It was actually 375 for 5 sets of 8, and pulled it really well. I don't know if I'm going to be allowed to do this progression for 1 more week. I'd really love to go in and take another 30-pound jump or something like that and make them just a little bit harder, because they are pretty easy right now, but that will be, I guess, to be determined. For my floor pressing, I ended up going up to 235 earlier in the week and then all the way up to 245 for this particular training session, 4 sets of 10, and this is right about where I want my floor press capped. Honestly, the exertion was, and it doesn't really look that hard from these 2 sets, but the exertion was pretty borderline in terms of meeting or even exceeding the RPE7 cap that I set myself earlier in the week. I would say the last 2 sets I probably exceeded that, and so when I do transition after this, I'm going to move into doing bench pressing, plus bench pressing, first with a narrower grip and off of a 1 board, and then over time I will go back to a wider grip. That'll probably be next week, this time next week, and then at some point, probably the following week, as I continue to heal, I'll remove the 1 board and start benching off my chest again. And I am due for the reset because I've run the bench progression, which admittedly I took big jumps in. I've run that kind of to the end, and I've started to hit the wall in terms of exertion. For my squats, I ended up doing set work, back squat belted with 290 earlier in the week, and right here are double pause squats. This is 250 pounds, and this was easy, I would say. It was much harder than it looks. They actually look really easy, but they do not feel really easy. And I will also say that the long amounts of time under tension just really give me some pretty good exertion headaches, which isn't by itself a big deal, but I can tell that it's just a very taxing movement, especially for sets of 10. And so what I think I'm going to end up doing for this week, and it's something I did last week, is the ratio of general specific to specific movements, I have set it at a 2-to-1 ratio in favor of general specific. Probably going to end up doing the opposite, doing more specific than general specific work, because these really just demand a little bit more in terms of recovery, and so I'll decrease the volume on them. Anyway, keep checking in. More videos for you very soon.